What's up, YouTube? In this video, I think it's about time I tell you why I'm retiring. All right, so hey guys, if you don't follow me already, or if you have not been following me for the past 4 or 5 years on YouTube, my name is Ben Nader, and I do videos on entrepreneurship, business, software, recruiting, real estate, investing, and finance, all those things. And if you like that kind of stuff, you should definitely subscribe to this channel. There'll still be videos on this channel, and I would love that. Okay, let's stop right there, because I'm absolutely 100% not retiring at all, at least in the way that you think someone would retire. So that is not happening. In fact, I'm pretty much going harder than ever, and everything in my ecosystem is probably going to be 10x as far as all my businesses and YouTube, etc. But this video is going to be very, very important to you, so you definitely want to follow me all the way until the end. All right, so in this specific video, I want you specifically to understand what retirement looks like for entrepreneurs like myself and for yourself, and exactly how that changes from the typical retirement that we've all been basically spoon-fed since we were born, since the typical retirement that we truly understand, the regular retirement, right? It's totally different for entrepreneurs, and you really, really need to pay attention to this video, because I'm gonna shed light on some things that are completely different and exactly what you should be doing as you plan your life out. All right, guys, so first things first, retirement has completely changed, okay? Anyone under the age of, honestly, anyone of any age seriously needs to rethink retirement, okay? Because everything has changed, right? You no longer have this 9-to-5 job where you just count on that 401k and Social Security kicking in. Like, if you think those things are going to be riding you out into the sunset, like, that's not going to happen. That is not how retirement is going to go, or should go at all, for anybody if you want a happy retirement, quote unquote. Secondarily, I want to recognize the fact that personally, I don't actually believe retirement exists. It's not really in my vocabulary. I don't think that there is such a thing as retirement. I know many of you may disagree. Put it down in the comments if you have anything that you disagree about with that and you want to talk about. But I don't think the certain 65 and a half, collect Social Security, sit on your ass, watch TV, that's not like retire. Like, I don't think that's a thing anymore, right? And I personally most definitely won't be doing that. And I hope you won't be either. But retirement has completely changed, and everyone needs to rethink this. Like, let me give you a really serious point, okay? Purpose. If you have no purpose, right? Let's say you leave your job or you leave whatever you're doing, right? If I just stop doing everything I do today, right? And just sit on my ass, like I said, and watch TV all day and do nothing, I have no purpose, no meaning. And when you lose purpose and meaning in life, people tend to just pass away early. Like, seriously, Google it. Like, stats show when you have no purpose or meaning, you literally just have no value to the world, and hence you kind of just die. Like, Google it. I'm serious. So you don't want to be in that position. You don't want to be in that spot. And that's mainly why I say you need to change your perspective on retirement, which I really don't believe in at all, because it's not a thing anymore. So with all that being said, I technically never plan on retiring. I plan on pivoting and repurposing. That's all. Just changing things, right? Not retiring. I don't plan on just stopping, like just stop doing whatever I'm doing. That doesn't sound fun at all. So retirement is really not a thing for me. It could be for baby boomers, and it could be for obviously like the greatest generation, things like that, where you hit a certain age and it's just like, all right, straight up retiring, you know what I mean? But I have these plans in my life where I'm just like, go until it all stops. All right, so let me lay out exactly what I've developed as my own personal plan for my life. So I often talk about goals and I often talk about trajectory and planning way, way ahead so that you know what's coming for you, right? So personally, first things first, I find that I'm going to be able to pivot and utilize my skills and my value in the marketplace for wherever they're best utilized, right? So if Recruiter Empire, right, after years and years, God forbid, right, just goes bust or whatever, right, and it's done, I'm not doing it anymore. We don't coach students into six-figure months and that kind of stuff. Like, we don't do it. Then I'll pivot. I'll be doing something else. I'll change what I'm doing. I'll utilize my same skill set, but on a different level, in a different way. For example, I would take my skill set, my value, and not coach thousands of startup recruiters, but instead established recruiting agencies or established companies that need recruiting elements, right? So I would consult them, which would make things a little bit tighter and easier and a bit more simplified because it would kind of be a little straightforward. And in Recruiter Empire, there's a lot of moving parts and pieces that go with the entire program, but I would simplify things and maybe pivot into that. Now, another thing that I absolutely plan on continuing to do is invest in real estate, right? Not only is this a really fun business activity for me, but it's highly profitable. So I would definitely continue to invest my money into real estate, do a lot of refinance and just repurchasing of real estate. And if you don't know that game, we'll do many videos on real estate and investing, which are totally things you should be doing so that you can sustain your lifestyle, right? Which is a big part of what I'm going to talk about here in a second. But definitely that is something that I would absolutely continue to do alongside consulting and things like that. So just like my last point mentioned, you need to have a sustainable income. You need to have revenue generating, right? So right now in your prime, let's just say you're whatever age, honestly, it doesn't matter, but whenever you're in your so-called prime, you should be generating tons and tons of revenue, right? Make as much money as possible. Like, God's given you the ability to just make tons of money, giving you value, giving you skills to put out in the marketplace. Absolutely utilize every ounce of that and make money. Make that money and invest that money. Do all of those things so you can create generational wealth, right? This is what we're all after. We're after generational wealth because the fact of the matter is you can't take it with you. Let me talk about that here in a second. Look, consider who's going to have your money when you can no longer even have money or money doesn't exist to you, right? So understand generational wealth really well and understand how the stream of wealth goes and who's it going to go to, like estate planning. If you haven't done any estate planning, you might start wanting to just think about it, right? It's just something to think about and maybe start putting into place, right? Some agreements, some trusts, wills, things like that. They're not a really big deal to do. It's just something that everyone does because eventually you can't take the stuff with you. So if you're worth like $10 million, you got to figure out kind of like where that money's going to go. Otherwise, it's going to go into probate and the state's going to figure it out. And that takes like years and it's going to be a total BS situation that everyone's going to hate once you're gone. But you want to create generational wealth so that people that you want to have your money utilize that money to invest that money and just continue your legacy. Another thing I plan on continuing to do is creating software. So everyone knows that I've created Aspheris for recruiters. There's another software that's coming. It's down the pipeline a little bit, but coming very soon. That being said, I love developing software and it's become kind of one of my passions. So with that being said, I plan on continuing that and continuing to create software, not only for recruiters, but for other verticals, for everything, for anything, just so that people can utilize automation because that's the future, right? So automated tools that do all kinds of things, right? And that being said, that's fun for me. Like that's a fun business activity for me. So part of retirement, quote unquote, which is again, a word I don't really believe in, is something where I would be doing that kind of stuff because it's fun. Like, not only is it fun, but it actually creates tons of revenue, right? So we just talked about generational wealth and making tons and tons of money so that you can do lots and lots of things when you eventually pass that money along. But basically set yourself up, right? Invest in the right things. I personally prefer real estate and doing software and consulting and coaching and all that kind of stuff with recruiting. So that being said, just consider the creation of your revenue. Like I said before, you want to have that income stream. You want to continuously build that wealth. Like, you never want to stop doing that, and you never want to stop investing.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Now, there's a huge portion that a lot of people simply just neglect, right? And this is whether or not you are going to like sell your existing businesses and give it to someone else and just take the cash, like sell out, or if you're going to transfer ownership, right, of your existing businesses that generate revenue. These are all things that will be outlined in a will or a trust or something like that, where other people have control, like trustworthy people in your family or otherwise want to take control over these things once you no longer can, right? So at that point, you need to keep this at the forefront of your mind, because a lot of people neglect this type of stuff. So when we talk about retirement, right, you want to just have these types of things in place just because. Now, one of the last, but certainly not one of the most least things that I want to mention is philanthropy. Okay, so to much is given, much is expected. And if you expect, or if you are a high net worth individual, you most absolutely should be creating some sort of charity, 501c3, or philanthropic organization, because you want to give back, right? So create something that does that. It doesn't need to be massive like the Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation, whatever, right? It doesn't need to be huge, okay? But you should create something. And like for me, what that would look like is maybe something, an organization that helps out budding young entrepreneurs, right? Helping them out in scholarship, right? Giving them money towards creating new businesses. Or it could just be like literally money to buy laptops for underserved young youth, right? You know, that need tools, right? That need actual hardware to start businesses, to do things. Maybe they already have ideas and things like that, but they just need like the software, the hardware. They need like things to actually like start their journey. When you consider creating like a philanthropic organization, like a charity or a 501c3, again, or some type of organization, this is like, number one, super, super important for the future, right? Future generation is what I mean, right? You can't take it all with you. So you want to be able to give back. You want to make sure that future generations are going to be able to actually take some of your wealth and be able to actually start their own thing and do what you did in your footsteps, actually directly in your footsteps, because it all came from you. And that's really, really benevolent and important. And I always say again, and I'll say it again, to much is given, much is expected. And like I said, if you plan on being a high net worth individual, which I totally call out for you, I intend for you to do that if you watch this channel, then you should absolutely consider being philanthropic in that nature. Guys, here's the deal. There's no such thing as literal retirement. I don't ever plan on stopping what I do until I'm forced to stop. Like someone stops me, something stops me. That's it, right? But until then, I want to keep going and do everything in my power to impact as many lives as possible, right? That's the game. But retirement doesn't exist to me, right? It's not this whole like turn 65 and a half and cut it off, sit on my ass, watch TV, and just be like, yo, I'm retired. That's not the life. The life is pivot and change the way you do things so that your life just becomes easier, but you still generate a lot of wealth, right? You don't want to be in the grind of it all when you're 65, 70 years old. Definitely not. I don't absolutely for sure say that you should be doing that. I instead say that you should pivot and alter what you do so that when you technically retire, you're doing things that you fully enjoy, that you fully still love, and you have plenty of time, way more time, like 90% of your time is spent with family, friends, etc. But you still have wealth coming in because you're doing things that are still going on and generating wealth for you. All right, guys, so I'm not retiring. I'm not stopping doing YouTube videos. Recruiter Empire is going nowhere. Software is still on the table. I'm investing in tons of real estate right now. Videos to come, more all about those pieces. I definitely just want to exclaim that I am not retiring. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you got some value out of this. Watch it twice if you really need to kind of check off all the boxes of the things that I laid out. Did a lot of research on exactly how I should lay this video out to kind of give you the information that you need when you really need to look at this thing, okay? So hopefully it was valuable for you. If so, please smash that like button. Subscribe if you enjoyed. Also join Recruiter Empire, our Facebook group. Link right down below this video in the description box. We want you to be in there, and I will see you guys next time because I'm not retiring.